Ladies and gentlemen, now today we had a bit of an unexpected announcement. First day at New York Comic Con, man. So, Kabam have been working on another game that runs alongside Marvel Contest of Champions.
Yes.
So I think they share the same story. I'm not too sure if there's going to be any other overlap. But the game is a completely different format. It's an action RPG that's going to have... they announced like 1v1, 3v3, so you can play against the computer, you can play with other people as well.
Yeah.
And we have had like so much like artwork dropped on us today and like so much story, and there was kind of like a panel on it earlier as well.
Yeah.
But there's just kind of one big problem, which has left everybody a little bit cynical, which is that there's no gameplay.
None at all.
And I think it's a little bit hard to get excited about a story and a world in a game until you've seen the gameplay.
Exactly.
And you're like, like this looks like a game that I want to play and I want to invest my time in. So it's kind of a little bit difficult to get excited, like really excited about this game at the point we are at now.
I totally agree with you, man. I think it's very easy, and like we have seen it in Marvel Contest of Champions, where you can get animations and the designs of something looking as great as you want it to look.
Oh, definitely,
but
mate. Definitely.
When it comes down to the gameplay, that is going to be the main thing that is going to have people really interested.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And apparently they don't have any gameplay that they're kind of ready to share this weekend.
Yeah.
And it feels a little bit weird that they've made this big game announcement, like half the booth at MCOC as well is dedicated to this game, but there's no gameplay.
Yeah.
So it's just like, as gamers, we want to see the gameplay,
Exactly.
get invested in that, and then like build the world from there on. It kind of seems like a bit of a backwards way of announcing a game.
Most definitely. I mean, if we look at last year when they announced Aegon, they came with sort of a story, just like they have with Realm of Champions.
Yeah.
You've provided the story, you provided sort of a little bit of sort of detail about obviously Aegon last year, but then you was able to show gameplay to sort of back things up, and it wasn't necessarily crazy amount of gameplay, but just sort of, you know, a little sort of 2 or 3 clips and just repeating it as you're obviously discussing Aegon. And I feel like if they've been working on this game for that long, it wouldn't have been that difficult to pick out certain clips.
Yeah, just a
we
little
know
teaser, like just something that we can kind of like anchor our expectations to for the game.
Exactly.
But I must say, like, some of the stuff that they got is really, really intriguing. But it kind of all boils back to the fact that, you know, we don't really know exactly what this game's about, but some of the stuff they were talking about, it sounds really, really hype.
Yes,
it sounds like they've put so much work, so much effort.
Yes, it does.
And we had a chat today. This is a completely separate team to the people that are working on Marvel Contest of Champions.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, there is a little bit of overlap with like Gabe, kind of balancing the story between the two.
Yeah.
But the games, they're completely different in terms of gameplay.
Yes, they are.
And this game has a load of new characters, a load of new models, and some crazy stuff, man. A lot of characters that I would love to see in Marvel Contest of Champions, like Apocalypse, the Ancient One, Peggy Carter, Scar, Queen Shuri. There's also kind of like a hologram Iron Man, Madam Web, and also War Thor as well. So these 8 characters are some of the faction leaders or house leaders, I think.
Yes, that's correct. And I think one of the main key things about the characters as well is that they have said that they've made the characters in a way where we as the players can customize them to how we want them to be.
Yeah. So, sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say, so from the panel, what they were describing the game to be like in terms of acquisition is it looks like you pick one of the houses, and then I think you'll have a selection of characters within those houses. And the characters, I think, are going to be standard. So, like in Marvel Contest of Champions, you're always like gambling or trying to get a like 4-star version, 5-star version, 6-star version.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's going to be different star versions.
Yeah.
However, instead they're going the route of like gear and customization as the means of like progression and unlocking new stuff. So, for example, they were using the example of like Iron Man, you might have like a very like classic suit or the Infinity War version, and depending on the armor that you equip, you get different effects, and also characters have weapon slots as well.
Yes.
So you can play about with the weapons depending on what you want to do. If you want to change up your play style of a character, that's how like you can customize them. And they said there's going to be a lot of detail and depth to the customization of characters.
Yeah, most definitely.
And it's going to be like build the character you want. So you can, I think, build like a female version of Doctor Strange and female Black Panther. Like if we go back to the, the art here, we've kind of got like, Spider-Gwen, who's like decked out with like machine guns there.
It's crazy.
We've got like a female Doctor Strange. We've got Iron Man there, female Black Panther. Kind of like a bit of a Gladiator Hulk like vibe from the right hand side, and also Thor there. So it sounds all very, very interesting. I'm curious to see what it's about.
And I think this is going to be a massive thing for players, and not only players but people that enjoy watching streamers, because when you compare it to sort of like a game like Marvel Contest of Champions that we play at the moment, if you look at someone playing Ghost and another person playing Ghost, you're more or less going to see the exact same gameplay. They're going to play the champion the same. You're going to see everything more or less the same. When you take a game like this, you could have two people using the same character, but their builds are just completely different.
Yeah,
and I think strategically that is going to bring so much more to streamers, because you're going to be able to, you might say, well, this combination of things work, but then someone else could have another completely different set of combination of things that also work. And I think it's not going to be like right now, okay, if you don't have Ghost, you can't complete this content. I think it opens it up so much to have, it's just like endless sort of characters.
I totally get what you mean, like the team element as well, especially mixed with the customization. It really does intrigue me. Dude. But it would be nice to like see some examples.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Like it was just like, all the stuff sounds like amazing. Like you put so much work into it.
Yeah.
But it's like everybody just wants to see the gameplay, bro. They want to see how stuff functions.
Especially when you're making an announcement like this at an event that comes once a year.
Yeah,
I think if you're, Comic-Con's coming up, you're preparing to make this massive announcement, and showing a tiny bit of gameplay, just so that people know exactly. Because right now the question is, what does it look like? What type of game is it going to be?
Exactly.
Is it going to be? I think one of the key ones that I was asked quite a lot today is it going to be as much of a grind as Marvel Contest of Champions?
Big time, mate.
And I think a lot of people want to know if this sort of has some form of connection story-wise to MCOC. Is it, have Kabam made another game that they're going to have to put as much time as MCOC into Realm of Champions?
Yeah, big time, mate.
And if that be the case, how are you going to be able to manage playing both games?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, man. I honestly still don't really know how I feel about it, just because it's so early on. I'm very excited by all the artwork. The artwork looks amazing. I think the team at Marvel Contest of Champions, I think most people can agree that visually, the animations, the models on the characters, especially in the last 2 years, have gone to a crazy level for a mobile game.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at some of the earlier characters in comparison to particles and effects on Human Torch or Ebony Maw or Captain Marvel. That's some crazy stuff.
And also to add to that, because something you don't see in these images at the moment, but they had these sort of these chains that we sort of hang our passes on and whatnot, and on there they had sort of the MCOC version of a character, and then the realm of champions equivalent to what the character would look like. And there's some champions that we don't see, like they had a Storm and then they had another version of Storm, and the artwork on these champions just look absolutely amazing, man. I think from my perspective, I think what I'm most excited for is the PvP element. I feel like having players being able to face off against other players
in real time, I think that could be huge. It could be insane if they can pull it off well. And I think they've done a good job of honing in on the core combat, and a lot of the new characters that come out in Marvel Contest of Champions, although they do take a while to get around to the general player base. I was saying this year, mate, there are so many really fun characters to play. You've got Thing, Havoc, Captain Marvel, Nick Fury. So hopefully Kabam as a company like are really starting to understand and build more on the enjoyment factor.
Most definitely. Well, they did mention today that, you know, when we were comparing it, because I think a lot of people are going to compare this to Marvel Contest Champions.
Oh, big time, mate, big time.
And they actually were saying that they were having so much more fun playing this game. They were having a lot more fun. Yeah, they were having a lot more fun playing Realm of Legends. Realm of Champions.
It's right easy to stay debated.
But, you know, they were having a lot of fun playing Realm of Champions. And I feel like, you know, that, you know, obviously they've received a lot of feedback from the community, and, you know, this game has been a hell of a grind. And I feel like they have focused, and hopefully, I mean, like you said, we've said a number of times, we haven't seen the gameplay, but hopefully, you know, this will bring back the fun element of, you know, just loading up Realm of Champions and having loads of fun with.
I think so, man. Like if you know, you can just go like 3v3, and maybe there's like a questing mode, because you see this world here that they've laid out. Again, they didn't really explain how you like navigate through the game or how it works. But if you can go like adventuring on various like story elements, like 3v3, and there's like 3v3 questing that you can do,
exactly,
and like boss fights and stuff like that, and that sounds insane. That sounds so much fun.
And I believe that is the case based on what they were saying, because they were saying that there's PVE elements and PvP elements, and in normal situations like that, you know, you can group up in a team of 3 and do missions on story, but then you can also go into groups of 3 and take on another 3 players. So if they have done it like that, like you said, that is going to be amazing, man.
Well, again, like, we really don't know at the moment. Like, it's
but the potential's there.
The potential is there. Like, the world looks amazing. The characters look so good. You can tell they've put a lot of effort into it. But without gameplay, everybody, I think, was a little bit confused today.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, okay, how, like, this all looks like, if you saw this stuff and didn't know it was another game, you just think, oh, this is like a new area in Marvel Contest of Champions, or a promotional graphic or something like that.
Because I feel like that was the vibe that everyone got when you turn up at Comic-Con and you saw Realm of Champions, you thought, oh, okay, there's a new update, or maybe they're changing the name of Marvel Contest Champions, and, you know, until they explained it, like you said, you know, it is exactly that. But I mean, just taking a look at someone like War Thor, I mean, dude, the 2 hammers.
Oh, it looks sick. Looks sick. Bro, like this friggin' Spider-Gwen. Look at that. Looks like she could be crazy fun to play.
It's amazing, and I feel like they've got the animation visuals in videos on YouTube or whatnot. I mean,
there's let's actually watch the Realm of Champions video right now. So this is a cinematic that they've released. Again, it's not gameplay, so we don't know. But in terms of the cinematic, man, it is a sick cinematic there.
Yeah.
I think this initial bit is just to show you like how you build and customize characters and really emphasize that. It's all about the suit, the choices you make.
Yeah, look at the customizations. It's just insane.
Yeah, it looks like it could be really, really cool. Like, I think it's got potential. Again, I'm not writing it off. The thing is, like, I just want to know more. I just want to see how it works.
Most definitely. I think another massive positive is we are going to see champions in here that we didn't even know existed. So, you know, we're going to see in, like, worlds of, like, you know, from Doctor Strange, there's a female looking like Doctor Strange.
I think this game's just about, like, making new characters and customizing stuff and just giving, like, people the ability to shape Marvel characters in the way that they want to.
Yeah, that is a very, very, very good point.
So, it's just, I think it's got a lot of potential, man. I think it's got a lot of potential, but...
So as they've mentioned that, you know, obviously picking your faction in this game is going to be a very key thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, based on what you've seen, I know that, you know, we haven't really seen no gameplay or whatnot, but do you have a strong feel for a faction that you want to pick at the moment?
I think, because again, they were saying every faction, I think, has different characters and different gameplay.
Yeah.
And they were saying, like, certain, I think, like, the Hulk faction, for example, specializes in, like, being a little bit more tanky and stuff and just dealing some, like, big damage, whereas the Spider Guild faction is about being fast and nimble and dealing some bursty damage. So I think we're just gonna have to weigh it up, mate. There's 8, there's a lot, and I think it's we were talking to them earlier as well, and they haven't really decided what they're gonna do, I think, finally, for all the houses and how they work. But I think you can, like, switch around and like pick and choose. There might be a bit of a cooldown time,
Yeah.
but also certain houses, depending on events that are going on in the game, will kind of align with certain other houses as well.
Yeah.
So there'll be like various events and stuff, and apparently the whole story and motivation and conflict is motivated by who killed Maestro.
Yeah.
So that kind of ties in apparently to the end of Act 4 in Marvel Contest of Champions and kind of this bigger story picture.
Yeah.
But it's it's just a little bit crazy, man, a little bit wild. So I think to wrap this video up, like everything so far looks good. Like the story, the world looks really, really interesting.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if it's like not an exciting game, if it's not an enjoyable game, if it doesn't like bring something new to the table and do it in a really interesting and creative way, I just, you know, as a gamer, I just care about the game itself.
Exactly.
And like what kind of enjoyment I'm going to derive from playing it.
Yeah, most definitely.
So yeah, I just don't really know how to feel about it at the moment. Like it looks cool, but I just want to see some gameplay.
Yeah. That's what matters the most. So we'll have to see.
Big time. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize that this video didn't give any gameplay, but hopefully got a lot of details on the brand new Realm of Champions game that's apparently going to be released in 2020. So at some point next year. We don't know exactly when, but also massive shout out to Killer BZ for joining me to kind of chat about this new game today.
Thank you for having me, man. And I'd love to hear the thoughts of, you know, what people think so far from what they've heard.
Very, very interested, because again, we've been at Comic-Con all day, like we've had the presentations, we've seen the booth and stuff, but for you guys like not at Comic-Con, like how do you feel about this game, this announcement? Are you kind of like as like you know, as kind of confused as like we are in a certain extent, because they just haven't like put forward that gameplay that defines that hey, this is like its own game, it's not Marvel Contest of Champions. And I think that's just what people kind of need to get like invested and start getting excited about it.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, big time. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.